Alright guys, welcome back to Legends of Evil, where I talk about villains outside of the comic book genre. And today we're going back to the Star Wars universe, because Star Wars has a ton of villains to talk about. And today I'm going to be talking about one of the most infamous Sith Lords in the history of the Sith. And that is Darth Malak. Now, Darth Malak was the apprentice to Darth Revan, until eventually betraying him and becoming the undisputed Dark Lord of the Sith. But Malak's story didn't exactly start from there. Oh no, there is a lot to Malak that many people seem to forget. Malak was once known as a man named as Alec, who, in his colony, in his colony on his homeworld, it was besieged by the Mandalorians. At this point in time, several thousand years before the Battle of Yavin, that's how they date Star Wars, that's how they date the years in Star Wars. But yeah, in this story, in the beginning, Malak was once a man named Alec, who his planet, like I said, was under siege by the Mandalorians. The Mandalorians at this time had been rallied together by the long-forgotten Mandalore, and the Mandalore was he was secretly given power by the Sith Empire, who at this time, they were still off in the Outer Rim, beyond the Outer Rim territories on Dromund Kaz, trying to rebuild their army and take down the Republic. Now, during that time when the Mandalorians were running wild at this point, there was, of course, the Jedi and Mandalorians who were kind of there was a dispute between the Jedi were like, let's just let the Republic and the Mandalorians fight it out. We can't really get into this. So Alec, when he was discovered by the Jedi that he was Force-sensitive, he was taken to Dantooine, where he met Revan, and the two became close friends, and eventually the two became very skilled Jedi. From there, they went against the Council's ruling that the Jedi would not interfere with the Mandalorian Wars, and alongside several other Jedi, Revan and Malak proceeded to take the fight to the Mandalorians, and the battle continued onward until eventually Revan slew the Mandalore, once he was killed during the Battle of Malachor, the Mandalorians were forever broken. And at this point, Revan and Malak and the remainder of their forces chased the remnants of the Mandalorians all the way to the Outer Rim colonies, and further beyond that, where they stumbled onto Dromund Kaz and found the Sith Emperor. Not really much is known, other than when they returned, Malak and Revan had been turned to the dark side. From there, Revan had become a Sith Lord, and Malak his apprentice. But Malak wasn't exactly all that keen on the idea of becoming an apprentice. So, he made an attempt on Revan's life in a deadly lightsaber duel. However, Malak made the mistake of realizing, oh yeah, Revan's stronger than me in a head-on fight. And he learned this the hard way when Revan sliced off Malak's bottom jaw, giving him a metal prosthesis that he was forced to wear for the rest of his life. Yeah. He doesn't wear that for show, people. Under that is just nothing. He could have died had it not been for the prosthesis. Although, it is kind of left in the air of how he eats and, how he manages to, eat. It is, if I remember right, in some of the continuity with the Old Republic, I remember that he's fed, the Force keeps him alive, or there's some other method of how he eats. Can't remember, because Knights of the Old Republic is such a big game, and some details like that tend to get a little fogged up, so if anyone can clear that up, then be my guest. But yeah, moving on. So, the Jedi, once Revan and Malak returned to the galaxy, they declared war on the Jedi Order and the Republic, and from there, the Jedi Civil War began. From that point, when Revan encountered Bastille San and her Jedi group on his ship, Malak saw his opportunity to again overthrow his master, and this time he thought he was successful. By using his ship, he fired on Revan's ship, thinking he killed both Revan and the Jedi. However, we all know how that turned out when Bastille San and her Jedi decided to wipe Revan's memory and train him in the ways of the Jedi. Now, also, another thing happened during Malak and Revan's time in the Outer Rim. They discovered an ancient Rakatan weapon. The Rakatans were once a massive empire that ruled the entire galaxy at one point. But yeah, they found a piece of Rakatan technology called the Star Forge, which was literally a planet-destroying and planet-building type weapon. And Revan and Malak intended on using that weapon. However, at this time, Malak, in this stage of the war, he proclaimed himself the one true Sith, and did have he did have an apprentice with him, though that didn't last long. And from there, once Revan was gone, Malak proceeded to go into more brutal tactics now that Revan was out of the way. For instance, Malak proceeded to go from planet to planet, and rather than hold a planet, he would end up just destroying the planet rather than let it, he decided in his mind that rather than let someone else try to take the planet from him, rather than let that happen, he would instead, he also thought that it would be a waste of his time, rather than, wasting to protect a planet from the Republic that he would just have to fight, and then they'd take it back and then fight it over. In his mind, he was like, I'll just wipe the planet off the face of the star maps and, not deal with it. Not realizing that's a tactically terrible idea, because very quickly he realized, oh shit, I need resources to fund this army. And at this point, Malak was more or less terrorizing the Jedi. He was either capturing or killing Jedi, and the Jedi he captured, he would convert them to the dark side, thus becoming his acolytes. Among those was Bastille Son herself, who he managed to capture and turn to the dark side. However, Revan managed to give her way back to the light side before encountering Malak in a one-on-one duel. In that battle, on the center of the Star Forge, Revan and Malak did battle, and eventually Revan managed to succeed defeating his apprentice. And from there, depending on the dialogue you use in that moment, Malak saw himself as like, oh my god, I was a monster this whole time, I've destroyed everything. From there, Malak died, and the Star Forge was destroyed, thus ending the reign of Malak. So, there you go, guys. That is the life and death of Darth Malak, one of the most powerful Sith Lords. He was incredibly powerful, though granted not as powerful as Revan. Of course, he had to do a little more sneakier tactic, and that did cause a lot of controversy when he took control of their conjoined army. When Malak betrayed Revan and thought he killed him, a lot of people who were under Revan and Malak's control on their side in the Jedi Civil War, they were like, yeah, you kind of did something really underhanded. Can we really trust you like that after you pulled some shit like that? Of course, Malak had to really instill a lot of fear. He didn't care about respect. He cared about being feared. And of course, that was it was a major tactical error of, just destroying planets and moving on. Go from planet to planet. Each one you conquer, you just destroy. That's a terrible idea because you need resources and manpower. Something that Malak didn't think about when he started this whole campaign. So while Malak was a very incredibly powerful Sith Lord, he didn't think of the long-term plan, more or less. Eventually, I'm quite sure Malak had he still had the Star Forge, he would have been able to destroy more planets and have a stronger Sith Empire. However, he wouldn't be able to keep it when finally the real Sith returned and took the Star Forge because I guarantee you, the Emperor and the Dark Council wouldn't stand for Malak's shit. Malak would be like, I'm the undisputed Sith Lord of the galaxy, and the Sith and the Dark Council and the Emperor would be like, oh, that's funny, we're taking the Star Forge now, bye. Yeah. So there you go, guys. That is the whole story of Darth Malak. So you guys tell me, what did you guys think of Darth Malak? Did you guys like him? Did you guys hate him? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.